Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin in the name of Almighty Allah, the most magnificent, the ever merciful. We glorify Him, we praise Him, and of course we elevate His name as He ought to be elevated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I extend to you the eternal and of course the universal salutation of peace. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be upon you. A most pleasant good morning going out to you on this beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. Another day, the blessing of another day. We have now come to the end of another week. Like they say, life goes on. And as always, I do pray and hope that you are healthy, well, enjoying a period of happiness, prosperity, and well-being. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, here in your company once again on this auspicious and holy day of Friday, the day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, I take the opportunity to say to you and yours, Jummah Mubarak, may the blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Of course, before we go any further, I take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to Pandit Chief and Hari Prasad for those beautiful words, those wonderful words of inspiration and motivation. And of course, we do wish him a safe and a speedy trip back home. All praises are due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the magnificent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. Oh Allah, it is you do we worship, and from you only do we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your favor, not the path of those who have evoked your anger, nor the path of those who have gone astray. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Well, today's Islamic date is the 23rd day in the month of Rajab, which of course is the 7th month on the Islamic calendar. So basically, we've got roughly about 5 weeks left. 5 weeks left before the arrival of the holy month of Ramadan for the year 2025. So basically, the days and the weeks are counting down really, really quickly. The question is, are you making preparation for the arrival of that beautiful month? You've got 5 weeks left. Start your preparation from now. Today also coincides with the 4th Friday in the month of January, the 4th Friday in the year 2025. Like I mentioned before, time waits on no one. And lost time, time that is lost, is never ever found again. So make best use of the time that Almighty Allah has given to you, because you're never guaranteed another second, you're never guaranteed another day. On that note, as we are now getting ready to commence the holy day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, allow me now to take the opportunity to officially welcome you live on air, live on the internet, live across our social feeds on Facebook, and of course on YouTube as well, for this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. Definitely do stick around. I've got lots to share with you on this particular hour together. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours.
الصبح بدا من طلعته والليل دجى من وصرته نور سحر چہرے سے تیرے اور شب کی رونق زلفوں سے اللہ 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 كنز الكون مولى النعم هدي الأمم شريعته نعمت کا हसीना है मौला गंजीना है रहमत है आका आदि है तमामी उम्मत के रहनुमा है शरीयत के अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह سأت الشجر نتلقى الحجر شق القمر بإشارته उंगली के इशारे पैर चले हिजाज से पत्थर बोल उठे और चांद हुआ है तो तू करे अंगुष्ठ के इशारे से अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह जिब्रील अता लैलत अस्रा والرب دعا في حضرته जिब्रील आमी पैगाम खुदा लेकर आए थे शबे हसरा अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह अल्लाहु 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 अल्लाह فوسيلتنا هو سيدنا والعز لنا بإجابته الله 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 لا إله إلا الله.
Soul Inspirations on 103.1 FM, brought to you courtesy Original Barbecue Hut, Nicer Brand Products Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, Adams Project Management Construction, and the TriniLink Solutions. You are listening to Soul Inspirations. Yes, that's right. You are tuning into Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM with yours truly, Imam Safizgani. And of course, I must say it's always an absolute pleasure and of course a personal honor to be in your company once again as we continue on with the journey of this particular hour together. Thank you so much for all of the messages I have received thus far via the WhatsApp number 2994103. Also, all of the messages I have received via our social feeds as well on Facebook and on YouTube. Keep those messages coming in. Thank you so much for your greetings. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. Well, on the program this morning, as we always tend to do, we've got a very, very intriguing segment lined up for you. Of course, we start off with our short inspirational segment, which is coming up in just a bit. We've got the early morning call to prayer coming up as well. I've got a few beautiful Islamic selections lined up for you as well. A bit later on in the program, as we get into our lecture segment, I'll be talking about the importance of setting boundaries and sticking to them. That's a very important concept we must try to wrap our minds around. So that's our discussion point this morning. So all that and more coming up on Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM. Do stick around. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
तारीफ़ की जिसने जहां बनाया, कैसी जमीन बनाई, कैसी जमीन बनाई, क्या आसमां बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की। पाँव तले बिछाया, क्या खूब फर्श खाकी, पाँव तले बिछाया, क्या खूब फर्श खाकी, और सर पे लाजवर्दी, और सर पे लाजवर्दी, एक साहिबान बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की। मिट्टी से बैल बूटी, क्या खुशनुमा उगाए, मिट्टी से बैल बूटी, क्या खुशनुमा उगाए, पहना की सब्ज़ खिलाती, पहना की सब्ज़ खिलाती, उन्हीं को जवान बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की जिसने जहां बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की। ये प्यारी प्यारी चिड़िया फिरती है जो चहकती, ये प्यारी प्यारी चिड़िया फिरती है जो चहकती, कुदरती ने तेरी को, कुदरती ने तेरी को तस्बीह ख्वाब बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की। आबे रवां के अंदर मछली बनाई तूने, आबे रवां के अंदर मछली बनाई तूने, मछली के तेरे को, मछली के तेरे को आबे रवां बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की। हर चीज से है तेरी कारीगरी टपकती, हर चीज से है तेरी कारीगरी टपकती, कारखाना तूने, कारखाना तूने कब आएगा बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की जिसने जहां बनाया, कैसी जमीन बनाई, कैसी जमीन बनाई, क्या आसमां बनाया, तारीफ उस खुदा की।
Allah's blessings and mercies to you and yours on this beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. The promise of a brand new day, the promise of a clean start, the promise of a fresh start, turning over a new leaf. We thank Almighty Allah for the gift of a brand new day. And of course, as you look forward to another day, another week, or another month, as the case may be, as you welcome the gift of a brand new day, always remember that your energy is your currency. And I'll say that again. Your energy is your currency. So be very mindful where you spend your energy. When you pay attention to something, you are literally buying an experience with your energy. And everything you spend your energy on is an investment made. So spend carefully, spend wisely, and spend your energy only on those things that will bring you a good return and that will bring you benefit in both worlds. Be selective. Treat your time and your energy with as much care as you treat your finances. It is equally valuable. Your time in this world, your energy in this world is too valuable to worry about what people think about you. Your assignment in this world is too important to try to convince everyone to like you. So quite simply, don't waste your time, don't waste your energy trying to make everyone on your side. Don't waste your time and energy trying to make someone be for you that's never going to be there for you in the first place. Remember that you don't need everyone to celebrate you. All you need, the only person you need on your side is the Almighty. And if you have the Almighty on your side, you don't have to worry about anything whatsoever. So with those few words I say to you this morning, may Allah bless you this day. May He continue to remove all challenges and all obstacles from your path. May He open the doors of mercy upon you. May He guide you to all that is good, towards happiness, towards prosperity. And may He give you the strength and the courage to face the challenges that will come your way this day, this week, this month, this year. And may He grant you all goodness in this life as well as in the life of the hereafter. Well, with those few words, we've got our inspirational segment just around the corner. Do stick around. You are listening to Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM.
Soul Inspirations on 103.1 FM, brought to you courtesy Original Barbecue Hut, Nicer Brand Products Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, Adams Project Management Construction, and the TriniLink Solutions. You are listening to Soul Inspirations.
Yes,
So a wise man was once faced by a group of people who were always in the habit of complaining about the same issues over and over again. So one day he wanted to teach them a lesson. And instead of listening to their complaints, he told them a joke. And everyone started laughing and cracking up as they found the joke to be so funny. Then, after a short while, when the laughter died down, the wise man repeated the same joke to them again. This time, only a few people smiled. Again, for the third time, after some time, he repeated the exact same joke to them again. This time, not a single person even reacted to that joke. So the wise man smiled and said, "You won't laugh at the same joke more than once. So what are you getting from continuing to complain about the same problem over and over again? You are not going to get anywhere if you keep complaining about the same problem but do absolutely nothing to fix it." The lesson is quite simple, quite clear to see. Don't waste your time complaining, expecting other people to continue to react to your complaints. Instead, Take action where necessary to make a positive change. Like we say, it's better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. It is always better to keep moving forward in life with a progressive force than to become stagnated and achieve absolutely nothing whatsoever. Slow progress is by far better than no progress at all. And successful people are forward thinkers. They are progressive and they're always looking ahead. They're always searching for solutions. In a world where many are consumed with past actions, with past failures and mistakes, it is very, very important to keep in front of you goodness and to develop a positive mindset. Even when you are faced with failure, even when you feel defeated, cultivate a positive mindset. It is always important to become constantly motivated to reach your goals. And of course, it is true. It is 100% true that things don't always work out in life. We don't always get our way. We don't always get what we want. But when they don't, it is up to you to act and find ways to get results. So quite simply, instead of dwelling on the negative issues, spend that energy in finding solutions to address those issues. Being progressive means always searching for solutions and being results oriented. And the moment you stop searching for solutions, you become inevitably stagnated. The moment you stop searching for solutions for the challenges that life has thrown to you, you become stagnated. And when you become stagnated, you become consumed by negativity and you become consumed by complaints. And on the path to success, there are absolutely no excuses. In your bid to develop a positive mindset, at times people will disappoint you. You will be wrong from time to time. But that should never become the reason you stop moving forward. We know for a fact that we don't live in a perfect world. So all you got to do is you got to learn to take the good in people you come into contact with and ignore the bad, ignore the worst. You are going to hit bumps in the road. You are going to be faced with a constant barrage of problems, a constant barrage of challenges. However, there's no point in magnifying the problems. You can only learn from what didn't work out the first time and then try to integrate this knowledge, try to integrate that experience into your present situation. Like I mentioned before, progressive people are solution-oriented. Always ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better than the last time? How could I have worked smarter? And this is the big question. How can I improve myself? That's a huge question right there. I think that question is literally the cherry on the cake. How can I improve myself? Every day, every week, every month, and every single year that I am gifted with life upon the face of the earth. The right questions will always lead to better ways and to getting things done, and it will lead you to where you desire to be. That is very, very important. Developing an attitude that brings positivity is extremely important in life. Equally important is adaptation. Adaptation is a key to survival. When you learn to adapt, when you learn to not focus on the negative things and to focus on the positive things, automatically you become results oriented. It is also important that every single day you make sure and connect with the Almighty. Don't ever allow a day to go past that you have not made that connection with the Almighty. You need that connection to drive you ahead. You need that connection to give you direction in life. You need that connection to be able to bring forth the goodness that you have within yourself. Without that connection, you are simply an empty shell. So I say to you this morning, develop and cultivate a positive mindset. Don't fall into the abyss of complaints. Become results oriented. And finally, develop a deep connection with your Almighty, with your Creator, with your Maker. Remember that being progressive means knowing what you stand for. Don't ever compromise your standards simply to please the crowd. Rather, stand by your values and your principles. Your values and your principles will become a compass or a guide to help you to achieve your goals and to gain the respect of the people around you. We are all moving ahead in life. Remember this. With the passing of every second, with the passing of every moment, automatically we are moving ahead in life. We don't have to do anything. Even if we sit in one place without doing anything at all, we are still moving forward. Why? Because of the ticking of the clock. So we acknowledge that we are constantly moving forward. Know for a fact that your movement in life should be forward ever, backward never. Always make a forward step. Don't ever make a backward step. At this point in the program, we now go to the early morning call to prayer. The early morning call to prayer is being brought to you this morning through the kind courtesies of Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Cunupia.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على حي على الصلاة حي على حي على
Soul Inspirations on 103.1 FM. Products Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, Adams Project Management Construction, and Trinilink Solutions. You are listening to Soul Inspirations.
Once upon a time, mercy from mankind, sent for you and me. And this orphan child grew again to be the greatest man alive. Praying Jannah we may pave the way for us so we can live. Taught us all about love, showed us what it means. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, لك قلبي تبسم. يا محمد يا محمد, so radiant. يا محمد يا محمد, to see your face. خير الأنبياء إني مشتاق لأحبابي من بعد. فما يرضيك يا حبيبي محمد, أنت ما صلى عليك وسلم. أمتي أمتي أدخلها معي, أمتي أمتي في الجنة نلتقي. يا محمد يا محمد, صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا محمد يا محمد, لك قلبي تبسم. يا محمد يا محمد, so radiant. يا محمد يا محمد, to see your face. يا محمد يا محمد, صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا محمد يا محمد, لك قلبي تبسم. يا محمد يا محمد, so radiant. يا محمد يا محمد, to see your face. يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن, اشرح صدري قرآن, املأ قلبي قرآن, واسق حياتي قرآن, واسق حياتي قرآن. رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن,
اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن ويصل حياتي قرآن ويصل حياتي قرآن لله يهفو آمل لله ولحفظ كتاب الله للأول بسم الله للختم وللرضوان يا نور يا نور يا محكم يا تنزيل لمحمد عن جبريل من رب العرش دليل للعالم والإنسان رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن تكفي تكفي للحافظ وهو صغير والطاهر العين قريب يحمل فجر الإنجيل بتلاوته الأكوان الله اللهم اجمعنا بكتابك وارفعنا واجعله لنا حسنا وهدى أبدا وأمان رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن तू ही तो चाहत मेरी तू है मेरा सुकून तू ही तो राहत मेरी तू है मेरा जुनून तू ही रातों में है मेरी तू ही बातों में है मेरी किसी और को नहीं मैं बस तुझको ही मानूं तेरा मैं हो जाऊं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं तेरी ही बात कहूं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं सजदे सर झुकता है रब्बा मैं क्या करूं तेरा मैं हो जाऊं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं चाहत मुझे दे दे जन्नत मुझे दे दे मेरी बातों में यादों में तू रब्बा तू है मेरा सोनिया वे रब्बा तेरी इबादत करूं रात दिन रब्बा मेरे सोनिया अख मेरी तरस दिया सोनी जन्नत जुदे मुंह तकलीफा तेरा मैं हो जाऊं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं तेरी ही बात कहूं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं सजदे सर झुकता है रब्बा मैं क्या करूं तेरा मैं हो जाऊं रब्बा मैं क्या करूं Nobody can take away my pyar for you Your love and your pyar is the one that's true Everybody go to सान नहीं जानते I think साल forever तो सान नहीं थकते शुक्र है तेरा रब्बा क्यों ठप्पा मैं क्या करूं.
Welcome back. I'm yours truly, Imam Sarfraz Ghani, host of this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment on this beautiful Friday morning, the day of Jum'ah. Jum'ah Mubarak going up to you and yours. Special salams and greetings of peace going out to all those who would have messaged on the program thus far via the WhatsApp number 2994103, and to all of the messages I have received via the Facebook feed and also via the YouTube feed as well. Thank you so much for your kind messages. Well, at this point in the program, we now get into our lecture segment, and this morning our discussion point is the importance of laying down your boundaries and sticking to them. So this morning, I want you to hear me and hear me well, because what I'm about to tell you is of extreme importance. In life, it is indeed a universal truth that you will always come across people who will want to push your limits and who will want to push your boundaries. People will ultimately push your limits to see what you are made of, and only when you stand up for yourself do they tend to respect you. From your relationships to your professional endeavors, you will find yourself facing challenges and also individuals who will test your capabilities and your resilience. They will try to aggravate you to see how far they can push you, to see how much you can take, to see how much you will tolerate, and to simply find what is your breaking point so that they can figure out how much they can take advantage of you as an individual. Sometimes you may even feel as if your buttons are being pushed, or people are walking all over you, or you feel constantly pressured to say yes in every situation to everyone and everything. And it can feel really uncomfortable and really confronting as well. All of a sudden, you'll be faced with decisions and questions in your mind like, where is my line? What is my boundary? How can I let people know that we have crossed that boundary? And how can I prevent them from crossing it again? Is it even okay for me to ask them to take a step back? Is it even okay for me to ask them to respect my boundary? Will they still love me? Will they still accept me? Will they still acknowledge me? All of these questions will begin to now swirl around in your mind. These people who are there, who are desirous of pushing your buttons, these people are known as boundary pushers. And it is very important that you identify these individuals when you come across them in your life. It is important that you understand how they operate, how they try to manipulate you, and what you can do to counteract the effects of these boundary pushers, the effects that these boundary pushers have on your life. The truth is that we teach people how to treat us. You teach people how to treat you at the end of the day. You treat people how to communicate with you. You do have a choice in how people treat you. You do have a choice. You can set your own boundaries. You do deserve to be respected and treated in a way that feels good to you. Setting your boundaries will improve your life and how you feel about yourself. So the very first thing you need to understand is, what is a boundary? A boundary is quite simply anything that marks a limit, a line that you feel should not be crossed. Sometimes you're not even aware where these lines are drawn until someone steps over them. When someone crosses that line, you may feel upset, you may become emotional, you may feel that you have been taken advantage of, used, or even just hurt. That in a nutshell is what is considered to be a boundary. Well, the second question is, what do boundary pushers look like? And what are some of the things that they do? Well, a boundary pusher can come in a variety of forms. They could be family members, friends, spouses, co-workers, neighbors, or quite frankly, anyone you may come into contact with at some point in your life. Some of their characteristics include being narcissistic, immature, entitled, selfish, privileged, desperate, clueless, or a combination of some or all of the above. They want what they want, quite simply. And as far as they are concerned, your boundaries can go to hell. So they will flat out ignore your boundaries. They will test you to see if you actually mean it, if you stick to your boundaries. And they will continuously argue with your reasons for having those boundaries in the first place. Most importantly, they will try to manipulate you into relaxing your boundaries. They act like you are unreasonable. And they continue to exaggerate their plight. They say things like, it's just this one time. If you can just relax your boundaries and take it down for a minute, let's see how things unfold, and so on and so forth. They will use their tactics to try their best to manipulate you to come away from your boundary. The third question is, how do you counteract boundary pushers? Well, there are some very, very simple and basic rules. Rule number 1, set clear and distinct boundaries. Be very clear in communicating those boundaries. And very importantly, stick to those boundaries. A lack of healthy boundaries can harm your emotional, your psychological, and in some situations, even your physical being. Without good boundaries, you can enable yourself to be able to move forward comfortably in your life. Also, it is extremely important that you continue to fortify your boundary by revisiting your reasons for having those boundaries in the first place. Respect yourself. Don't compromise yourself just to avoid the displeasure of another individual. Avoid arguing with a boundary pusher, because it is a very, very slippery slope to stand on. Boundary pushers can become very aggravated at times, very upset because they did not get what they wanted. And keep in mind, it may take a while for some boundary pushers to take your boundaries seriously. So Almighty Allah has given us this life, and it is extremely important that you know what you are about. Once you know what you are about, you can now set your boundaries accordingly. And I say to you, ensure that you always stand for the right thing. Once you stand for the right things, you will develop good boundaries. If you stand for the wrong things, you will develop wrong boundaries. It's a simple equation. Ensure that you stand for the correct thing, morally, ethically, consciously. Ensure that it is the right thing to do. Make sure that you are doing the right thing, and automatically the boundaries, the good boundaries, will follow. And once you have set those good boundaries based on the correct principles that you stand for, ensure that no one is able to manipulate you to stand down from that boundary, because if you do, remember that you are standing down from something which is correct, something which is right. So in conclusion, it is indeed an inevitable part of life that sometimes people will push your limits to see what you are made of. The challenges and obstacles you face can be transformative, and it will allow you to discover your true capabilities and your true strengths. Remember, it is only through adversity that you are able to grow, and you're able to show the world what you are truly made of. So the equation this morning is quite simple. Stand for the correct thing. Place down in the sand, so to speak, correct boundaries. And if you can hold on to those correct principles, automatically you will become an upright person, and people around you, without you having to do anything or even demand it, people around you will begin to respect you. May Allah bless you this day. May Allah continue to shower upon you His mercies and His bounties. And may Almighty Allah give us the goodness of this world and even the goodness of the life of the hereafter as well.
लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, जिंदगी तू ही मेरे वतन की जीनत, जिस तरह फूल से होती है चमन की जीनत, जिस तरह फूल से होती है चमन की जीनत, जिंदगी हो मेरी परवान की सूरत या रब, जिंदगी हो मेरी परवान की सूरत या रब, इल्म की शम्मा से हो मुझको मोहब्बत या रब, इल्म की शम्मा से हो मुझको मोहब्बत या रब, हो मेरा काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना, दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना, मेरे बचाना मुझको, नेक जो रहा हो उस राह पे चलाना मुझको, नेक जो रहा हो उस राह पे चलाना मुझको, मेरे अल्लाह बुराई से बचाना मुझको, नेक जो रहा हो उस राह पे चलाना मुझको, लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी, लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी, जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी.
Soul Inspirations on 103.1 FM, brought to you courtesy Original Barbecue Hut, Nicer Brand Products Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, Adams Project Management Construction, and the TriniLink Solutions. You are listening to Soul Inspirations.
Yes, you have been listening to Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM with yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani. And of course, as we are now coming to the end of the program for this morning, I must take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. And of course, I say a very special salam and greetings of peace going out to you and yours, our listeners and viewers who have joined us on the program this morning. Thank you so much for spending this time with me every Friday morning. Thank you so much for your beautiful messages. Thank you so much for your kind regards. Jummah Mubarak going out to you you and yours. Of course, it was an absolute pleasure to be in your company over the past hour or so. By all means, do catch me next week Friday from 5 a.m. as we bring to you another segment of Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, signing out for this morning. Until next week Friday, please do have an extremely blessed day, a blessed weekend. Stay safe, stay in the mercy of Almighty Allah. Much love, and may the peace, blessings, and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Up next is News at 6, followed by Prabhat. By all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM for more inspirational and motivational programming throughout the course of today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم शहर का वक्त था मासूम गलियां मुस्कुराती थी हवाएं खैर मकदम के तराने गुनगुनाती थी अभी जिब्रील भी उतरे न थे काबे के मिंबर से कि इतने में सदा आई ये अब्दुल्लाह के घर से मुबारक हो शहे हर दो जहां तशरीफ ले आए मुबारक हो मोहम्मद मुस्तफा तशरीफ ले आए मौलाया सल्ली व सल्लिम दाइमन अबदन अला